Hello. Another beautiful day. I had to get out of the house because I was just fucking going crazy inside. I'm frustrated because I feel like there is nothing that I can do. But every time I say there's nothing I can do, there's obviously something that I can do, right? Because someone else already did it. So as long as somebody has already done the thing that I'm trying to figure out, how? But that's not helpful either, because, I don't know who they are. But, I keep telling myself I can't do this anymore. And, as soon as I say it, it's just okay, what does that accomplish? Are you still not doing it? Are you still doing it? Just, has anything changed? No, nothing has changed. In a world where I can go anywhere, I can do anything, why is this what I'm doing? Why is walking around saying I can't do anything, I'm stuck? What I'm doing? You know? And now, what the fuck else am I supposed to do is the question. Because I asked the fucking Magic 8 Ball this morning. I was just hey, should I go work at Dunkin' Donuts? Because it's just what else am I doing? And it's just no. And I agree with it, because it's just I already did that. I already tried that. That didn't work, you know? And continuing to do things that do not work is not going to, well, sometimes. And that's what frustrates me. Because, if you do something and it doesn't work out, you have the option to do it again, but better, right? And if you did it as bad as if you did it as good as it could ever have been done, and it's just still nothing, I don't think that's the issue, right? And that's what I learned years and years ago, you know? It's just why would I agree to that, you know? And it's just at the same time, it's just why are other people, because other people are really causing all my problems. They really are, you know? Every person that's going to a job that they hate, they're causing my problems. You know, every person that's unhappy and they're just staying together for the marriage, even though they hate each other, just they're part of the problem. Anybody who's doing something that they don't have to do because they feel like they have to do it, even though nobody told them they have to do it at all. Okay. So it's just on the same scope, I believe that I'm supposed to do something, right? And just what am I doing? I'm walking around with a fucking phone, talking to nobody. Or maybe somebody, you know? At the same time, it's just you have to watch the words that you say, the language that you say, what you put into the universe, and I'm aware of that. But I don't know, I spent too much time in the quotation world, quotation marks, adult world, so now I have to, quotation marks, I have to maintain this reality with all of these people. And I hate this reality that other people have built. I really do, you know? Just if I was going to build my own reality, it would be something completely different from this, you know? Just a lot more people would have happy endings and shit. You know, people wouldn't have to get a second job so they can put their kid into daycare just so their kid has somewhere to go so they can go to work twice, 3 times. Never spend any time with a kid, and the kid grows up and they're just oh, you never, just yes I did, you didn't love me. It's just yes I did love you, that's why I spent all this time working and shit. And it's just whatever. Just thinking about you know, that one weekend, you know, I was working, you know, throughout the week, going to school, and then I'd come home on the weekend, and it's just can't do anything because all my money is already gone to you know, expenses and stuff like that. And even if I did have the money, I would need it to put towards a tire. And incidentally, now having a tire issue. But, like, at the same time, everything is my fault, too. But I don't know what to do with that. It's just, like, there's different ways of thinking about it. And, I don't know, maybe thinking is a tool and I'm using it too much. I don't know. None of this shit makes sense to me. And the more I try to make it make sense, the less sense it makes. I was hoping that I could say something profound or something, just like, I don't know. But at the same time, I feel like nobody wants my negativity. They want me to keep that shit to myself and not bother anybody else. Like everybody else, they just wants to they want to watch something funny, They want to laugh. They want to have a good time. They want to do something cool, something interesting, I don't want to talk to you about your fucking problems. They've got their own problems to deal with, And, I don't know, for many years, I sort of just, acknowledged this, and then I took all of my problems, and I sort of, tucked it away inside me, and it's just okay, I will deal with my problems later. I'll help you deal with your problems, And I felt like I did a really good job trying to help people with, whatever problems that they were experiencing in that moment. And, I don't know. Nobody's ever really given a shit about me. Except for my grandmother. My grandmother seems to be the only person in this entire fucking world, except for Polly, who is a friend who bought me a vape once. Super nice of them, they didn't have to do that. But my grandmother is the only reason that I'm still on this earth right now. I don't know what I would have done had she stepped in and started helping financially support me. And just I gotta say, this is not how it's supposed to go. It really is not how it's supposed to go, I'm supposed to be taking care of her. She's not supposed to be taking care of me. And it's just okay, well, this is the situation. She's taking care of me. Now what do? So it's just okay, you gotta accept help. You gotta make the most of it. You gotta move on. And do what? And it's just I had the quotation marks, a bunch of shit that I was trying to do. And just I'm stuck. I'm stuck in so many just different areas. Just at the JavaScript, I got stuck because I didn't know how to build a program. It's specifically a function to shuffle cards. Everybody's just oh, just print, hello world. And it's just I've already done that exercise. I don't need to do that exercise. I need to do this new thing that I've never done before. And there isn't happened to be some sort of instruction manual that tells me how to do this. Whatever. I'm trying to figure it out. And just the other thing, too, is just, the advice that I've been getting from different sources is just, I'm supposed to live my life. For me, and nobody else, right? And it's important for me to do this for the very specific reason that, anybody that was born has something that only they can bring to the world, right? And that's why they were born, And you're gonna do the thing you're gonna do anyway. How do I put this? Basically, if I was always gonna write a book, at some point I would imagine that somebody would read that book and they would like it. Perhaps a lot of people wouldn't like that book, but There are going to be some people out there that it's going to be their favorite book that they have ever read, type of thing. You know? Something that I drew is going to be like one of their favorite drawings. Out of like all the other drawings that they've ever seen, that was going to be their favorite. And like, it doesn't even have to be a permanent fixture, you know? It could be their favorite for the right then, you know? Just like that's... It's basically whatever I do and whatever I like doing, someone else is going to like that too as well, you know? In this way, you know, other people have done things, and like I've supported it in different ways, you know, whether it be like, you know, paying money or like, you know, talking about it or telling other people to try something, you know, there's different ways, right? The fact of the matter is that I have written a book, and like every time I sit down to try to do that, well, I get overwhelmed, you know? Same with art. But then it goes back to the other issue. Well, it's not really an issue. More of an observation. What am I even fucking doing? Like, I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't have, like, internet connection. Well, I suppose my grandmother did say that she would help me with the phone bill and, like, talk about the tire tomorrow. But, like, my problem is just, like, I am dead weight. I contribute in no way at all. You know? Like, I'm also reminded that I don't have to do anything, you know, just like these birds that just exist, you know, I'm as free as a bird, and I don't have to do anything either, you know, but like, at the base minimum, you know, I need to be able to secure certain things for myself, according to some smart person: food, water, and shelter. You know, those are the three big ones that are like non-negotiable, and everything else from there, you know, just like, after that, it's like, what, electricity, like, internet connection. Just, like, can't do, like, much without those things in this modern age, too. But, like, all of these things cost money, right? And I don't have money. And I can't think of, like, ways to get money. Except for going to apply for Dunkin' Donuts for, like, I don't know, 14, 15 bucks an hour in this fucking economy. And just, like, whatever, you know, I could make some arguments. Oh, that's pretty good money. It's just, like, I don't know what world you're living in, though. It's not. It's not. More than that, it's a terrible trade for your time and your lifespan. And, like, if you're desperate, sure, go do that, you know? But, like, I'm not. You know? Just like bust your ass, spend all that time like working, and you go to an apartment that you don't even like. You know, it's completely isolated. You don't have friends. Just like whatever. I'm just like thinking about when I was an electrician, right? And then I would go to work, and I'd bust my ass, right? And I would do. I would work circles around everybody. And then when I started asking for more money, because I was just like, hey boss, you know, I worked my ass off, you know, and I need the money. Can I get a raise? You're just like, But you can get laid off though. How about that? And if like this is going to be the entirety, because like it is, like my entire working experience is just like I don't know why I thought equivalent exchange was a thing. Like, what you put into something is, like, what you should get out of it at the base minimum. But it's just like, no. Just, like, getting rigged by all of these fucking companies. And, like, for why? You know? And, like, I would tell myself, like, I'm okay with, like, taking, like, pay hits, you know, when it comes to, if I'm doing a mission that matters, you know, if something matters, just like, I don't care how much I'm getting paid, I'm going to do it anyway, right? I feel like that's the right mentality to have. And like, things at work, you know, they were pretty obvious. This needs to be done, that needs to be done, you know? Anyway, so just like, okay, fuck the working world, you know? Just like all of these people, you know, are either sheeps who are just being led by, like, these fucking monsters. But it's not always the case. It's not always the case, because there are some people who think that they're wolves, and they're just like, oh, I'm not a sheep, I'm a wolf, and I'm going to... that's just, like, completely different, you know? Someone that's just like, oh, you know, I'm top dog now, but they're not top dog, you know? They're actually just, like, one in a line of, like, many quotation marks top dogs, and they're just, like, whatever. The corporate ladder. You know? Still, that doesn't... I mean, but, like, honestly, what question haven't I asked that needs to be asked is the other thing, you know? It's like, if every question gives an answer, and it's just like, and I don't like the answers that I've been given, I'm gonna change this question. Very helpful. Very insightful. Sometimes I get frustrated, and I'm just like, thanks, Mufasa. That made a lot of sense to me. Just like when you're jibber-jabbering, it's just like, I don't even know what your guys' thoughts sound like when you're by yourselves. Just like, do you think the same way? Is it different for you? Am I just like batshit crazy? And I'm just like, well, that's a given, but also, just like, you know, so is all of this. Like, I don't know who the enemy is, you know? Just like, everybody is angry at everybody else, and if I'm also angry, then I'm part of the problem as well. Like, you know? Like... I don't know. Gotta be positive, right? And, like, the difference between being positive and, like, being in denial. Although I'm supposed to be practicing being in denial for a specific reason. Because, like, if this reality is only shaped because, like, all of us agree on certain things, you know? We all agree the sky is blue. We all agree that the grass is green. But, like, what if the sky was pink? And what if the grass was actually silver, you know? It's just like, it could be those things, but, like, we'd all have to, like, agree on it for it to be true, right? And then, like, would that change the color of the grass? And just, like, it might. I have no idea. And it's just, like, if you picked up a silver crayon, then, like, this is the same as... Well, I mean, at that point, I would assume that, like, silver is green, and green is silver, and it's been swapped or something, but, like, I'm not entirely sure. All I'm saying is, like, once upon a time, everybody thought that the earth revolved around... The sun revolved around the earth. That's what they believed, okay? The sun went around a circle around the earth. Earth was the center of the universe. And then a bunch of people were just like, hey, I actually think it's the opposite. And, like, I'm pretty sure some of those people were tried to death. And, like, how dare you say such things? And it's just like, now we have, like, arguments over just, like, you know, whether the earth is flat or a globe, or, like, you know, whether we're inside of some sort of tetrahedron, which is a cube within a cube. Just like, I don't know how we got from cubes to boxes, but here we are, you know. Our smart people over at, like, the schools and quantum mechanics and, like, string theory and all that, you know, trying to, like, make sense of, like, why anything is anything. Huh? Shit, dude. I don't know what they do with their time. You know, last time I heard they were building a new particle accelerator, and the woman's just like, we didn't need another particle accelerator. It's just, like, a waste of money, busy work, keeping people in jobs, you know, writing more fake reports, just, like, keep everything going, you know? It's just like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But, like, I watched a video earlier today, and, like, I don't know what number she said because it was too high that I can't think that high. But like, she's just like, this bottle of wine for these rich billionaires costs this much money. And I was just like, what? Like, I understand that they have billions of dollars and they can just piss it away. And like, they'll be fine. But also, I thought it was just like, all these rich people are just like, how do you get rich? And it's just like, you don't spend money, you know? You just like, you know, you stay at home and you drink like water and like you eat hot dogs and oranges and nothing else. And like, that's how you get rich. You like save your money. And it's just like, and if you go to like, you know, you go to the Dunkin' Donuts and you get your morning coffee in the morning, just like, that's why you're never gonna get rich. Because you're just pissing money away. And just like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't want to agree with this. Because, like, one of your fucking bottles of, like, champagne, like, that could cover an entire year, a couple of years, maybe, of, like, the amount of coffee that I drink. Like, with that amount, I could get multiple coffees per day and still be covered for, like, I don't know, 3 years. Like, I don't fucking know. And it's just, like, I'm trying not to be angry at, like, the billionaires because that's just, like, their lifestyle and whatever. I don't know. But also, I'm curious. How competent are these people? What can they do? What skills do they have? If you took away all their money and made them start fresh, like everybody else, you know, could they do it again? First of all, could they do it at all? Could they do half the shit that you can do, for example? I have no idea. I've never actually met a billionaire. I would assume that they just have enough money to like be able to pay for all those tutors and shit that they need or want, you know. I don't even know, dude. I was thinking to myself, it's too late for me personally because you had to like start when you were young, but that's a lie. You don't, right? Like anything can like change in an instant, you know? Like 1 second you thought one thing, and then in another second, just like everything you ever knew just is topsy-turvy, right? And so anything can happen, you know? Just not when you're like on the floor saying, I can't. But like once you get back up and you're just like, I can, and then it's just like, okay, now what? And like still not sure, you know, because it's just like I guess once upon a time I thought that if I just wrote a good enough document, you know, and enough people read it, it would just like do something, you know? Like, you know, some of those famous dead people, you know, like John Hancock or something. No, that's just a signature, honestly. It was really, what's his face? Hamilton? He probably wrote it. Benjamin Franklin? Both? Not that Hamilton did most of the writing, I think. Anyway, all that matters is just like, you know, these guys, they wrote up a document and they're just like, okay, this is it. You know? And it was a really big thing, you know? Writing has the ability to, I don't know, convince people of ideas, you know, or something. It's not, it is, I was thinking it's kind of like a program, and after you read the program, it like reprograms you in a certain way, but only if you know how to do it correctly. Mostly, I don't know, like, what I'm trying to convince anybody of, so, like, it's I'm not trying to write something, you know? Ow, fuck my shoulder. I woke up wrong. Just watching this one clip. I don't even know if I brought it up yet. It's just like, what billionaire with a B, what do they eat? There's a video that showed up on YouTube, and I was just like, what do they eat? I'm just like, I mean, I've seen a bunch of clips from, like, movies or something, but, like, I don't know. I didn't get very far in the video. They were just like, oh, yeah, and this fucking, I don't know. And it's just, like, the people that work for those billionaires, you know? Just, like, I don't even know. Just, like, if it's a caste system, and, like, the people with less money work for the people that have money, and the people with money have people that work for people that have real money, and the people with real money work for people that have a lot of money, and the people with a lot of money work for the people that have even more money than that. I don't know. And they're just, like, talking about how just, like, they want to bedazzle their friends with, like, the whole eating experience, and, like, the whole dining out experience is a way to show off. And, like, at the end of the day, I guess, like, anything is an occasion to show off, but, like, I don't know. And it's just like, what? You go to a dinner and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna show off? Like, what? Like, you're fucking rich? Like, what? Like, what's there to show off? Like, what's that got to do with you? You just happen to have a lot of money, you know? Just like, I don't know. Just like, did you do anything to actually, like, I know some people that bust their fucking asses, you know? There's one carpenter busting his ass at this house, working long days, long hours, and it's just like, he doesn't get anything extra. Like, he doesn't even fucking get, like, a day off, you know? And it's just like, when he does get a day off, he goes home and deals with, like, family bullshit, you know? And it's just like, yeah, family's important, but it's also bullshit, you know? And it's just like, you go home and you have to deal with, like, what, report cards and shit? Doctor's appointments? And, like, school clubs and shit? Like, I don't know. And this is just, like, how I spend my time. Just, like, walking around, I guess, focusing on problems. I'm supposed to be focusing on solutions. And it's just like, okay, what solutions do you have? I don't know. Because it's just, like, as far as I can tell, I don't have money. Therefore, I need to go service someone who does have money, right? And, like, that's it. That's the sole relationship, you know? Just like, if I want money, I have to go find someone that has money, and I have to somehow convince them that they want to give me money, right? For whatever reason. Whether it's I'm trying to make them buy something, or, like, whatever. I don't even know, right? And, like, why would they? I wouldn't. And, like, I would probably, like, ignore me if I saw me, if I was rich. And, like, look at the poor person. Huh, couldn't be me. Okay, I wouldn't be like that, probably. I don't know how I would respond, because I'm not in their position, but, like, also, like, their entire thing is they've created an environment where they're insulated from the poor people. They don't even have to, like, know that the poor people exist, except, like, as an idea, you know? They don't have to, like, see them on the street or anything. They just have, like, this probably have, like, these fake towns that you go into, and the entire town is, like, fake. I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you what's actually going on in the world at any given point. I just don't get it. And then everybody's in a relationship with me. But, like, also that's tied to my self-worth as a person. Because I'm broke, I therefore have no self-worth. According to society, I guess. I made it to the 30-minute mark. I'm gonna pause it now. Talk to you later.